Pope's dress has 33 buttons for the 33 vertebrae on your spine. Jesus was crucified in Golgotha, which means the place of the skull, because you crucify yourself and you raise your kundalini to the brain, past the 33rd vertebrae to the skull, which activates unused parts of your brain, heightens your intuition, and allows your brain to process information quicker, making you become enlightened. Crucifixion of Jesus never happened. It's symbolic of the renewal of your consciousness, crucifying your old self to become enlightened and fully awakened. You have to crucify your lower self, raise your kundalini, and activate your higher self. Jesus never existed. Jesus symbolizes the sun, with his 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs, 4 gospels for the 4 seasons of the sun. That's why he's called the risen savior, the light of the world, the Son of God. 7 days, 7 planets. They worship their God on Sunday because Jesus is the sun. Easter is actually called the Passover because this is when the sun passes the winter and enters Aries, when the sun springs things back into life, the summer. And this is when they eat lamb, because lamb is Aries, the ram. The sun dies on the Southern Crux constellation, the Cross, every year on the 22nd of December. On the 25th of December, it is born again, every year, because it moves 1 degree northward, bringing back the sun to the northern hemisphere. Jesus, the sun, was born a virgin every year, and this is why we celebrate Christmas. Horus, the Egyptian sun god, 12 disciples, born on the 25th, dead for 3 days and resurrected, did miracles and born a virgin. Same with Mithra. Judas stabs Jesus in the back and betrays him. The constellation Scorpio is a J for Judas, and when the sun hits Scorpio, this means the sun is now entering the winter, meaning it's going to die and become dead. So it's betrayed by the Scorpio, the constellation J. Here's Jesus walking on water. It's the sun. Freemasons always place the east at the top of their artwork and the north and south on the sides. This is because they understand the true cosmology of this realm, but you don't. North is the center of this realm. This is where all compasses point to, because the Earth's electromagnetic field and all this energy centers at this point. It's the strongest point. South is anywhere that goes opposite from the center. So if you walk this way, that is south, and that is south, and that is south. West is when you go left around the magnetic pole. This is anti-clockwise. If you were here and started walking west, you would end up in the exact same spot. East is the clockwise turn around the center axis. So if you were here and walked east, you would end up in the exact same position. With that being said, east is the right turn, left is the west turn. They always show the ladder to the east. Why? Because the ladder is your spine, and the east means the right, which is the right hemisphere of your brain. In short, the right hemisphere produces a holistic view of reality. So this sees humanity as one unified consciousness. The left hemisphere breaks this down into individuals. This sees the trees, this sees the whole woods. So when Jesus says, cast the net onto the right hand side of the boat and you will find fish, this represents cast your awareness into the right hemisphere and you will see the unification of the universe. You will see the higher self. This is the higher self. This is the ego. You will realize everything is connected and everything is all one. Use the code WISE20, all capital letters, for more information. Read this book. You do not see into reality. Light enters the eyes and the image is produced in the visual cortex. The world you see around you is actually within you. You are consciousness experiencing the program being ran by the central nervous system and the brain. There are 2 major systems in the body. The tree of life, the cardiovascular system, giving life to the physical body. The tree of knowledge of good and evil, the nervous system. You do not experience the external world. You experience electrical impulses on your nervous system, which gives your mind, your consciousness, the knowledge of good and evil. You are the Temple of Solomon, the temple of the Sol and the Mon, the sun and the moon, the soul and the mind. The sun is the soul, the moon is the mind. This is why we say lunatic. Lunar is moon. And inside of your mind, you have a specific mood, which is moon. The soul system is within you. It's the 7 chakras, the 7 planets. The cycles of the sun being summer and winter happens within the body, because you are a miniature world. In the summer, you feel better and you gain better ideas. In the winter, you feel less alive. I am you and you are me. It's a universe, a unite verse. Everything is one. We are all one consciousness, one mind, in separate physical bodies. The link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom. You are not the body, you're the invisible intelligence. If you shut your eyes, you can feel your awareness in the center of the brain. You refer to this being as I. The letter I and the number 1 is one line. Because there is only one, and we are all the one expressed in different bodies. The Egyptians knew this. This is the one giving out the Ankh to all the different life forms. This is why 1 is the only true number. Everything goes up in ones. You look with the 2 eyes, and you see with the inner eye your invisible intelligence. Because the inner eye gives you the perception of what you're looking at. Everything is neutral. Everything is one. It's your mind's perception that gives it a positive or negative charge. Me and you are the exact same consciousness. Why do you think the golden rule is to treat others like you want to be treated? We are all mind. Men means mind in Latin. Jesus was known as the fisher of men. He wasn't fishing men, he was fishing minds. Bright minds that are worthy of knowing the truth. God exists within the highest realm of your being, your mind. If you constantly listen to your God intelligence, which is always telling you the right thing to do, this is how to become closer to God. You need to stop living off the body's desire and turn to the higher self, the higher realms of your mind. The link is in my bio for the Book of Wisdom, paperback and PDF. The Masonic compass is a compass and a square. A compass for curves, which is the heavens, the dome. Square for flat planes, which is the earth, which then generates the Masonic Royal Arch symbol. It also represents the earth, the sun, the moon, the black sun and Polaris. These are the symbols for the elements. The earth element is the sun, the moon, the black sun and the flat plane. The sun rotates inwards and then outwards to create the summer and winter seasons. Tropic of Capricorn, the equator and the Tropic of Cancer. The sun spirals inward to create a small rotation, which is summer for the northern hemisphere, then spirals outward to create the winter for the northern hemisphere, and repeats this process. The constellations are fixed and they rotate around us, creating a giant clock. The sun tells the time of day, the moon tells the month, and the stars tell the year. The sun and the moon rotate around the magnetic North Pole. This is the plane of inertia, planet Earth, and the northern lights come from the center. The sun and the moon represent the principle of creation, male and female. The sun being electric male, the moon being female, which is magnetic. They know this knowledge, but you don't. They want you stupid and dumb and not knowing where you are, but it's okay. I generated this book so you can find out the truth and so you can feel a sense of well-being instead of being confused. Adam and God do not touch. Adam represents your physical avatar. God is in the brain because God is consciousness. If you look at the earth from above, you will see this pattern. You will also see it on the earth, and you will see it inside of you. This proves there is a microcosm and a macrocosm. All things are in all things. And when God said, let us make humans in our image, in our likeness, this refers to as us being a microcosm of God. Your external physical world is generated from your invisible mind. The phone, the buildings, the cars that you have were manifested from pictures within the invisible mind. You are a creator. You are a microcosm of the macrocosm. Humans possess an advanced consciousness which can take something non-physical and manifest it into a physical reality. Your invisible self is God. But you think you are the body, which is Adam, the lower self. The early Christian artwork depict God is in the brain. Heaven is upwards, which is the head. It's the top of the body. The earth represents heart. This is the midpoint between good and evil. And your heel is hell. We need to kill the lower nature of ourself and live off the higher parts of the body. When you do something wrong, you can feel it inside of you. But invisible intelligence is always guiding you. And all you have to do is reach out to God, to touch God, the invisible intelligence, and become the higher self. This symbolizes incarnation. Apples are torus field. Physical matter is a result of two opposing forces equalized on the plane of inertia, which is planet Earth, a flat plane. They want you to believe everything is physical when it's actually holographic. You descended from spirit to matter. You bit the forbidden fruit, the apple, the torus field, and incarnated into physical matter. The apple is the torus field, the home screen is the torus field. Apple Watch has the seed of life, which is a top-down view of a torus field. The word physical is phi cycle. The phi is the torus field. It's the cycle of the torus field. Earth growth, decay, death, back into counter space, and repeat. Infinity symbol comes from the Taurus field, which is the number 8. God, Allah, Elohim adds up to 8, because in John 1:5 it says God is light. The Taurus field is one unit of light. Everything is created out of light. Life is light. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. John 1:4. The outforce, male. The inforce, female. The atom that creates this reality is dualistic, hence why everything has two sides, good, evil, fun and boredom. The Taurus field is red and blue. Why do you think everything's red and blue? Roses are red, violets are blue. You chose to incarnate into physical matter. The link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom. Stars are portals that lead into the astral plane. This is why the word astral has star within it. As above, so below. Whatever happens in the astral happens in the physical. It's a mirror. And this is why the Masons have the 2 pillars. It represents the number 11. As above, so below. The mirroring effect of reality. And this is why astrology is so important, because it can foretell the future. The Bible even says this, and let there be light in the firmament of the heaven, and let them be for signs. This is why God says in Job, can you lead forth the Mazzaroth, which means 12 signs? Do you know the audience of the heavens? Can you establish their rule on the earth? The stars foretell the future on the earth. They rule over the earth. Above your head is a giant clock which foretells everything you need to know. A month is a moonth because the moon travels around the 12 signs every 28 days. The sun tells the time of day. Stars foretell the time of year. Every single one of you is born into a specific alignment into the stars and planets. This is why everyone is different, and this is why everyone is on a different path. By finding out your personal chart, you can figure out certain events in your life. If you want a reading, you can now get them on my website. The link is in the bio. The Jordan River is your spine. The 7 lamps in the Bible are the 7 chakras. Your brain's the Garden of Eden. The pineal gland is the throne of God and the gateway to heaven. The Pope's staff represents the spine and the 2 kundalini channels and the pineal gland. Salvation is salt. The brain produces a salt, a fluid which goes down the spine, which you must resurrect through your erectional energy back to the head, which is resh, in Hebrew for head. By following the word of God, following your inner guide, you save your salt and you raise it. Once you do this, you then have the key into the kingdom of heavens, the realms beyond the physical, to access the dimensions within your mind. Also the Holy Grail, or the power symbol. In the Vatican, you have the pine cone, and this is the head. Is the Pope holding the pine cone. We are all God. There is no God outside of you. Everything is God. All religions were made to make you look outside yourself so that you can become powerless. All religions are corporations. It's all a scam to keep you asleep. The brain is not your mind. The mind's the intelligence, the brain's the computer, the nervous system's the machine. Choice, program, and action. You are not the body, you are the invisible intelligence. Every thought has an emotion attached to it. Thoughts are electrical, emotions are magnetic. Your emotions are felt in the heart, and the heart produces the electromagnetic field. Your emotional state will create your vibe, and your vibe will attract your tribe. You attract whatever frequency that you operate on. Mind creates matter. The external world mirrors the state of your internal thoughts and emotions. You set your frequency with your mind, with your thoughts. This is why we call it a mindset. You've got to set your mind to the frequency of what you want. And when you become that frequency, you will attract that frequency. You right now are a result of your past thoughts. In order to change your future, you've got to change your thoughts now. Your emotions are not what you've been taught. It is energy in motion. Your emotions are not meant to be reactive. You are meant to control your emotions because they are a creational force which attracts things to you. Your emotions were given to you so that you can manipulate matter. We live in a holographic world, people. It is projected from within yourself. You change your internal world, you change your external world. If you want to learn more, the link is in the bio for the paperback Book of Wisdom, worldwide shipping. Bless is be less. Be less you. When something is really good, we say that is sick. Another word for good is wicked. That's wicked. The English language is full of hidden spells. This is why we call it spelling. Because every word you say is creating Taurus fields, which is energy and frequency. Frequency is the only thing that can penetrate your body without your consent. You can choose what you put into your body, but you cannot choose what you hear. Every frequency you listen to and produce has an effect on your cells and electromagnetic field. And when this field becomes destroyed, your body becomes destroyed. Because energy and frequency comes before physical matter. It is the creator of physical matter. English is the most spoken language in the world. They want everyone to speak it because it's filled with double meaning words which cast hidden spells. Mourning is the feeling you feel when someone has died. Why do you think the Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue? The sun is electric, the moon is magnetic. The sun gives you energy, the moon takes your energy. Male and female. The moon governs liquids on the earth and in your body. This is why the tides on the ocean follow the moon. The menstrual cycle is the moonstral cycle. It takes 14 days for the moon to wax or wane to a full or new moon. It takes 14 days for the egg to become mature in the ovaries. Month is a month. The moon travels around the zodiac every 28 days. Body, mind and soul. The earth is your body, the moon is your mind, the sun is your soul. The moon is your mind, this is why we say lunatic. Or in your mind you have a specific mood, which is moon. You can use the moon to your advantage. Start a new project or a new chapter in your life when there is a new moon, because then it'll be growing with you. We do not live on a spinning ball in space. Everything is divinely created. The yin and yang is the sun and the moon, the day and night, good and evil. We live in a dualistic realm, people. This book is going to give you the knowledge so that you can understand yourself and the realm you are in. The link is in the bio to get your hard copy, or you can get the PDF. There is worldwide. The earth is darkness. It produces no light. All of the light comes from above in the heavens. This is why all religions stem back to the worshipping of the stars. Without them, we would be dead. Why do you think Jesus is called the risen Saviour, the light of the world, and has 12 disciples for the 12 constellations? The sun rises every morning and saves you. He's the risen Saviour. Your body is the darkness, your consciousness is the light. Out of the darkness ye must rise upwards, one with the light and one with the stars. The emerald tablets of Thoth. Why do you think the Freemasons always show a ladder up to the celestial stars above and depict all of the light coming from above? They want you to believe this to keep you stuck down here within the darkness. The stars represent the higher realms beyond the earth. Beyond the stars is the astral plane. This is why the word astral has star within it. Change this to astronomy. Space is fake. Earth rearranged is heart. Heart means middle. This is why the Freemasons stand on the checkerboard. It represents duality, good and evil, day and night. Let's break down the $1 bill. The eye in the triangle. There are 4 planes of consciousness: mental, astral, etheric and physical. The etheric is the barrier between the physical and the spirit realm, symbolized as the triangle. Eye symbolizes the invisible intelligence, the observing consciousness inside of the brain. Your invisible intelligence has the ability to see through the ether, the triangle, into the physical and the spirit realms. Jesus in French is I am. The letter I is the number 1, which is 1 line. Inside of you is your internal invisible self, your invisible intelligence, where your insight is created. Our consciousness, our invisible intelligence is God. This is why the ancient Christians show God is in the middle of the brain. The body and the physical realm is split into duality, 1 and 2. But your invisible intelligence is the 1. This is why this symbol is on the $1 bill. The 1 is in between the 2. Your invisible intelligence, the I am, your consciousness, is in between the 2 hemispheres of the brain. This book is called the Book of Wisdom. There are paperbacks and PDFs available. The link is in my bio. There is worldwide shipping. 3 meals a day is keeping you stuck in your lower 3 energy centers, trapping your body in survival mode. It's important that we fast. When we fast, our body starts to eat itself and kill all the bad cells. If you have issues with your body, listen up. If you cut your finger, your body heals it and produces a scab. If we keep picking the scab, it will never heal. Your body's issue is not healing because it's fighting off the toxins that you place in it every single day. Instead of fighting the problem with your body, it's fighting off the poison you keep placing in it. If you avoid unnatural food, the body will then start to fight off the problem that's already in it. This is why fasting is important. Our digestion uses a lot of energy. Fasting allows the energy used for digestion to be redirected to fight off the problem. The human body is made with self-regenerating technology. If you want to heal fast, cut out all the unnatural GMO foods and go on an alkaline diet. P.S. This is not health advice, this is what I do personally. We are not in 2025. Month comes from the word moon, moonth. The moon has a 28-day moon cycle. 365 divided by 28 is 13. 13 lunar cycles every year, which means our calendar has a missing month, which means we don't know what year we're actually in. This is gonna blow your mind. The sky is a clock. The sun tells the time of the day. The moon tells the day of the month. The stars tell you the month of the year. The sky above our head is intelligent. Everything on earth is matter. Everything above us is spirit. That's why they're floating. They're not rocks you can land on. The Gregorian calendar was made for slaves. Calendar comes from calends, the first day of the month the Romans had to pay off their debt. So what does all of this actually mean, and why did they do it? They made this fake calendar to cut off our connection with our celestial intelligence above and keep our mind, body and spirit out of rhythm with these cycles. We must live in harmony with the cycles above us. You can create abundance in your life with using the moon to your advantage. All of my students know that. Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself. Jesus never turned water into wine. This is gonna blow your mind. Jesus spoke all things to the crowd in parables. Matthew 13:34. It's a symbolic and allegorical story about you turning water into wine. Fire is masculine. Water is feminine. Masculine is intellect. Feminine is emotion. Water is symbolic for emotion. Thoughts are the language of the mind. Emotion is the language of the soul. Emotions are communication from your soul. If you are jealous of someone, this is your soul telling you where you need to be in life. Every fear you have is showing you an obstacle for you to grow, to expand into your life purpose. Water into wine, symbolic in turning negative emotions into growth and expansion, transmuting hate into love, jealousy into your reality. Jesus represents you, a manifestation of God's consciousness in physical form. Jesus tells you, whatever I can do, you can do better in John 14:12. Jesus is you. Baptism is symbolic of moving from earth into water, the second stage of consciousness, truth. Dunking your head in water won't do anything. Baptism happens within. There's a secret meaning behind 666. 666 is 3 sixes. 3 represents the 3 aspects of creation and consciousness. Thoughts, emotions, and actions. These 3 things have created your life. This is where it gets scary. The number 6 represents the cube. And this material world is created in cubes. Forwards, down, up, backwards, left, and right. 6 represents the material world. 666 represents your thought, emotions, and actions all going towards your material body and material pleasure, cutting yourself off from spirituality. Red is the slowest vibrational frequency, and it represents chaotic and intense emotions like hate and anger. You are the devil. It's not a real person, it's the lower aspects of the human mind. The voice we hear in our head that tells us to do bad things is not the devil, it's an aspect of your mind. He has a goat head. Goats are ground animals, they represent the lower self. Angels have wings, which represent the higher self. Adam and Eve is a sexual story. When we are born, we have a pure consciousness, and we have no ability to reproduce life. As we grow older, we gain the power of creation. Our sexual energy is activated and turning us into an adult. We gain the ability to produce life, and this sacred power can be misused, as it is a sacred force within you. Eve is feminine, she's the emotion. Adam is masculine, he's the action. The serpent is the deceiving sexual urge. This is a symbolic story of how we lose pure consciousness and we gain the consciousness of good and evil. Our consciousness splits into the ego and the shadow, into the higher and the lower self. But this is not bad. It's a natural cycle of human consciousness. But we need to wake up from it and find our way back to the Garden of Eden. Don't lose yourself in material lust and material pleasures. They'll leave you feeling empty and unsatisfied. Instead, save your sexual energy, master your mind, and control your emotions. And don't let external things control your inner world. And that's how we find our way back to the Garden of Eden, reaching a pure state of consciousness. Meanwhile, knowing the knowledge of good and evil. The Bible is the greatest psychological text ever written. You need to understand the simulation. Everything you feel is not real, and everything you see is an illusion. Everything you're experiencing is a simulation produced by your nervous system. This laptop is not solid, it's just a bunch of atoms placed together. And the reason my finger doesn't go through the laptop is the electrical fields of the atoms in the laptop are repelling the electrical fields in my finger. What you feel when touching something is your nervous system decoding the electrical waves that you've come into contact with. You're not feeling the external world. You're feeling electrical impulses decoded by your brain. They'll never tell you this, but your brain is an energy decelerator. Everything outside of you is energy. What you see is your brain slowing down this energy outside of you into a visual image that you can perceive. Everything outside of you is fake. The only thing that is real is your consciousness. Material world trick, matrix. Hindus call this Maya, the illusion of the world. Kabbalists call the world the veil that hides your soul. And the reason why the world's so lost and depressed today, because we're looking for ourselves in the outer world. None of the short-term pleasures that the material world offers can ever satisfy your soul. True happiness comes from within. Stop seeking validation in your outer reality. Go within yourself and find happiness within. The solution to the world is meditation. Freemasons wear this symbol, which is the same symbol for Gmail. The G is the Masonic G. The M is for the mother, because the woman holds a portal, a stargate into the physical world. That's why they wear it in the genital area. The mother makes you into matter, all M's. Once you are made into matter in the womb, she then delivers the male. Every single one of us came through the mother into the physical world. That's why they're so important. Feminine, nin is 9. Masculine, lin is line. 1 and 9 adds up to 10, which is the binary code of all creation. 0 is the cosmic womb. 1 is the masculine pillar. These are the only two numbers that truly exist. That's why man adds up to 10, and so does Adam. Because we are made in perfection with the numbers. 6, 9. 6 is physical matter, the cube. 9 is spirit, spirit and matter combined. The woman combines your spirit with your physical body. If you feel lost and don't understand reality, read these books. Kendrick Lamar with the A on his chain, with the American flag. This has a deep meaning no one has figured out. A represents Alpha, the beginning of the Greek alphabet. Alpha represents new beginnings. Omega represents endings, because it's the last letter of the Greek alphabet. At the end of the show, it said game over, because the old world is now over, and Kendrick Lamar held the ceremony, which is a ritual representing the new beginning of America. This is why the dollar bill has an omega on it, representing the end of fiat currency. This picture is deeply symbolic. Everything they do is code. Elon with the omega representing ending and him waving goodbye. And Trump, which is the new beginning, the alpha with his thumbs up. The new beginning of America, 2024, 24, the 24th letter of the Greek alphabet, omega, the ending. This was the last year. 2025 is a new beginning. Everything is going to be reset. This is just one of my lectures from the new Symbolism Masterclass. In this class, I will teach a limited amount of people every single occult and esoteric symbol one by one and show you real life events. This opens on the 19th of February, 8 p.m. GMT. Join my Telegram or my newsletter in my bio to secure your spot. The spots will go instantly. You will have to be quick. Ever wondered why graduates wear this hat? The hat is a square and a circle. The square created by the square, the circle created by the compass, which is the Freemasonic square and compass. The circle is eternal, no beginning, no end. The square creates the square, which is beginning and end. Spirit and matter, mind over matter, the compass over the square. But in this case, we have the square over the circle, which represents matter over the spirit. The graduation cap symbolizes dominance of matter over spirit, representing the conditioning imposed by Saturnic energy. Hence why it's a black cap for the black cube of Saturn. That's why judges wear a black robe, representing reinforcement and limitation. This is not a coincidence. Is university just conditioning to limit the human mind? Jesus never existed. The Last Supper is astrology. Each body part is ruled by a zodiac. Aries the lamb rules the head, which is why he's on the head of the table. Taurus rules the neck. He has a very thick neck for Taurus the bull. The next sign is Gemini. Gemini is the two arms, the two twins. That's why his hands are up for the two twins. Next sign is Cancer the crab with pinchers. He's holding a knife for the pincher of Cancer. The next sign is Leo when the sun is powerful, radiant and summer. That's why he's showing dominance with a a clenched fist and an elbow on the table. The next sign is Virgo, the Virgin. He's pointing that there's no Adam's apple. This is a woman, a Virgo, the Virgin. Jesus is the sun, the light of the world, the risen Savior, the Son of God. He's placed in a triangle to symbolize the sun's rays. One hand up for the daytime, one hand down for the taking away of the sun at nighttime. Libra is when the sun is balanced between summer and the winter. That's why Libra is the balanced scales, and the symbol is a half-rising sun. That's why he's holding his arms out balanced. Next sign is Scorpio, with this man pointing upwards. Scorpio is our reproductive sexual organs. He's pointing up because you must raise your sexual energy up to Aries. That's why Aries is an anagram for arise. They're in 4 groups of 3 because there are 3 months in each season. Luke, Mark, John and Matthew. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Jesus is the sun, which is our soul. Spring is our physical body. Summer is our spirit. Fall is our emotions. Winter. Stop seeking attention from people. You're operating from a sense of lack. You're trapping yourself in a cycle of seeking external validation. This will continue to happen until you figure out that true happiness, true validation comes from within. You're telling your subconscious mind this is what you want by seeking these things. Everything you do, everything you think is telling your subconscious that's what you want, and it's bringing it into existence. This is how it works. Nothing physical can ever satisfy your heart, can ever fill the void you have in your soul. Because your soul is not from this physical earth. Therefore, nothing from this physical earth can ever fill the void in your spiritual soul. You must find happiness within. You must be like the sun, which shines naturally without seeking recognition. Find it within. Food has been sexualized. Why is it we cut out sausages in this shape and then place them in between 2 buns? Or placing a burger in between 2 buns. They are sexualizing foods to make them more attractive. They do this because sexual emotions are the most powerful emotions a human can feel. It's written in our DNA to reproduce. They know that most of the population have no sexual control. I think it's sickening that we live in a society that pushes poison through sexual desire. I shouldn't have to teach you these things I'm about to tell you. Each one of these centers are mini brains. You can think with them. They have consciousness. When you are hungry and you eat, you are acting according to the gut consciousness. Body is a reflection of the lower self, the lower half, and the higher self. The spine is the stairway to heaven. We must climb our spine to raise our consciousness. We need to stop eating and lusting and turn to expansion of the mind, knowledge and spirituality. We need to climb the pyramid to higher consciousness. You have an inner invisible world, spirit, and an external material world, the body. The matrix is designed to keep you looking outside yourself and never looking at your internal spiritual world. The devil is the deveiling of your consciousness when your mind is stuck in a physical reality, lust, food, money, fame, power. This is the devil. Red is the lowest vibrational color on the color spectrum, which corresponds to the surface level of your consciousness. He has goat horns symbolizing an animal. This is the animal nature of human consciousness. Red symbolizes rage, which is the lack of emotional control. Deep down within you, you are the fabric of the universe itself. You have the ability to create, turn thought into physical existence. This pencil was a thought before it was a physical reality. You possess the power of creation. You can use this for good or evil. Do evil is the devil and God is good. Reptilians do not exist. We're not being controlled by reptiles. There are 3 parts of the brain. The reptilian brain is mainly used when one is using survival needs. This is the instinctual part of your nature. People who control this world are mainly operating in their reptilian brain. It's all a metaphor. It's all scarcity to make you fear. Head is the heaven, earth is the heart, and heel is the hell. These are all states of consciousness. So is God and so is the devil. The church is a scam. The devil doesn't exist. The devil is your own aspect of your mind, tempting you to engage in low-level pleasures. Santa is Satan. So this is Santa with the reindeers, and this is the god Saturn, also known as Saturno. The Roman god Santa is always depicted with a long grey beard, holding a scythe in his hand because he's the god of harvesting and time. In ancient Rome, they celebrated something called Saturnalia, a festival dedicated to the god Saturn. And this took place in December, just like Christmas. The summer time's governed by the sun, the winter time's governed by Saturn. Summer is life, the winter is death. December and winter is when the most deaths occur. So many people die in December. This is when Saturn harvests the souls. Christmas is actually Saturnalia, which is a celebration of death. Don't you think it's weird how we celebrate the winter death instead of having a celebration in the summer life? Symbolism literally doesn't lie. The word Saturn is Satan. Now, of course, Saturn is not a real human with a long beard. This is all symbolic. It's a soul system, not a solar system. You started in the stars and you entered the heart of the soul system, which rearranged spells Earth. You took on the 7 energies of consciousness, the 7 planets. That's why you have 7 chakras and the 7 days of creation. You started in the stars. That's why you are a star, a cis star, mont star, fraud star. That's why we need to reach for the stars and ascend to our astral body. Our astral body is the star body, the celestial body. You descended from spirit to matter, from the stars to the earth, and turned into the Anunnaki. Anu, the sky god, represents spirit. Ki, the god of the earth, represents matter. Together they gave birth to the Anunnaki. Anu and Ki, spirit and matter. You are the Anunnaki. You incarnated into a specific, unique time and place of the planets and the stars, which imprinted a specific energy in you. This is why we are all unique and different, because we are all born in different timings and placements of the planets and stars. This is why you have a midlife crisis at 33, because Saturn takes 33 years to go around the zodiac. Saturn is in the exact same position from when you were born at age 33. And Saturn is the aspect of your consciousness that limits you and makes you learn. This book has changed thousands of people's lives. Black Friday sale, 40% off. Use the code GIFT. Sex is sacred energy exchange. Your DNA and energy is exchanged, creating an emotional bond on the astral plane, which connects your soul with their soul, their emotions with your emotions. Don't have sex with just anyone. Their trauma and emotions can affect you. Sex is a sacred ritual which invokes a soul into the physical world, because the woman holds a portal and the man holds the key to open the portal from the astral into the physical plane. Performing sex with a negative mindset will invoke a negative soul. You must perform the ritual properly. Don't waste your sexual energy. This energy creates a human life. Transmute it to create something else. You shouldn't release unless you're making a baby. Releasing is making you mineral deficient and flooding your brain with dopamine, which is the brain's reward system. Releasing is tricking yourself that you've achieved something. This is why you have no drive, no passion, no energy, because you're tricking your brain that you've achieved something already. Women store DNA from every man they've made love with, which could even affect their offspring. In order for creation, there must be destruction. The woman goes through pain to give birth to a beautiful child. Every time you release, you're killing your creativity, your drive. Don't have sex with just anyone, and don't release your fluids. Mineral deficiency is linked to balding. I'll see you inside of Ethereal University. If you join now, you get a free sexual alchemy course before the price goes. They keep you stuck in the reptilian part of the brain, the instinctual. Instead, you want to move to the neocortex, where critical thinking takes place. Neo is plugged into the matrix via the reptilian brain on the brainstem, and he wakes up to the neocortex. That's why he's called Neo. Osiris never existed. He represents the reptilian brainstem. That's why he's green. The reptilian brain is always scanning the environment for survival threats. It's the closest brain to the rest of the central nervous system, because it does not think. It's instant reactions based on fight or flight mode. Matrix is designed to keep you in your lowest states of consciousness, eating, lusting, consuming. They don't want you critically thinking using the neocortex. This is the part of the brain that processes higher states of consciousness. There is no shape-shifting lizards controlling the world. Symbolic for the lower mind that they're trapping you in. Join Ethereal University for a library, a manifestation course, lectures, and live Q&As. It's a soul system, not a solar system. You started in the stars and you entered the heart of the soul system, which rearranged spells Earth. You took on the 7 energies of consciousness, the 7 planets. That's why you have 7 chakras and the 7 days of creation. You started in the stars. That's why you are a star, a cis star, mont star, fraud star. That's why we need to reach for the stars and ascend to our astral body. Our astral body is the star body, the celestial body. You descended from spirit to matter, from the stars to the earth, and turned into the Anunnaki. Anu, the sky god, represents spirit. Ki, the god of the earth, represents matter. Together they gave birth to the Anunnaki. Anu and Ki, spirit and matter. You are the Anunnaki. You incarnated into a specific unique time and place of the planets and the stars, which imprinted a specific energy in you. This is why stars. This is why you have a midlife crisis at 33. Because Saturn takes 33 years to go around the zodiac. Saturn is in the exact same position from when you were born at age 33. And Saturn is the aspect of your consciousness that limits you and makes you learn. This book has changed thousands of people's lives. Black Friday sale, 40% off. Use the code GIFT. Praying is witchcraft. You are using words to alter your reality. Words create vibrational frequencies. Praying over food is changing the vibrational frequency of the water in the food. They are raising the vibration of the food before they place it in their body. Each cell in our body responds to the frequencies produced by thoughts, words, and emotions. Holding their hands together is an ancient form of meditation because your hands are manifestations of your brain hemispheres. Placing them together completes the electrical circuit of the brain and the body and allows electrical energy to flow through the meridians of the body. This technique was used to balance the hemispheres of the brain during meditation to access a higher consciousness. Jesus even says, "No longer will you ask me for anything." Instead of praying to Jesus, the Bible says, "Believe that you receive them and you shall have it." This way you trick the subconscious mind in believing that you already have it, which will manifest into your reality. You attract what you are. Music is magic. Be careful what you listen to because it molds your mind. If you flip the human nervous system upside down, it looks like a tree growing from a seed, bearing the fruit of the heart, which looks like a fruit dangling on a tree. The tree growing from the seed also feeds the fruit of the spirit. The cycle of the seed is the same cycle of your life. The cycle of the seed is also the same as the parable of the sower. 12 cranial nerves managing the movement of the body, being controlled by the mind. 12 disciples spreading the gospel of Jesus. Jesus is the head. Jesus meets his disciples in the upper room. 12 imams of Shia, 12 tribes of Israel with the one left out, 12 zodiac constellations around the sun. Are you starting to see it? You are the son of God. Consciousness is connected to the source of the universe. Brain is a holographic computer projecting this reality. Consciousness is a fractal of God. Your life is a file. Your brain is the husband. Your heart is the wife. The husband, or the brain, is responsible for thinking, taste, touch, hearing, and smelling and sight. Wife is the heart, which is submissive to the brain, emotion, following, and doing. You are arguing because it's the brain against the heart. Thinking versus emotion. You must learn how to sync the mind with the heart. By studying the body, you can study how relationships are truly meant to be. The book in my bio will tell you everything. You have 5 fingers for the 5 elements. The skull corresponds with the elements. The jaw represents the earth. Water goes on top of the earth in the mouth. Air goes through the nose, fire is light in the eyes, and spirit is the third eye. The 4 physical elements are the 4 vibrational states of the ether or spirit. 5 points on the body for the 5 elements. Ether or spirit is the base of all physical matter. The 4 elements are the 4 vibrational states of the ether. It's the most important one, and that's why it's always on the top. That's why the middle finger is swearing, because they hid the ether. Satanic people turn this upside down to put spirit on the bottom because they are materialists. They represent Saturn. This symbol is not evil. The word scared is sacred for a reason because they've made you scared of all the sacred symbols. This symbol represents the 5 elements of creation. If you want to advance in your life, I am now doing private one-on-one consultations. If you wish to talk to me, let's go on a call. Jesus never existed. The Last Supper is astrology. Each body part is ruled by a zodiac. Aries the lamb rules the head, which is why he's on the head of the table. Taurus rules the neck. He has a very thick neck for Taurus the bull. The next sign is Gemini. Gemini is the 2 arms, the 2 twins. That's why his hands are up for the 2 twins. Next sign is Cancer the crab with pinchers. He's holding a knife for the pincher of Cancer. The next sign is Leo when the sun is powerful, radiant, and summer. That's why he's showing dominance with a clenched fist and an elbow on the table. The next sign is Virgo, the virgin. He's pointing that there's no Adam's apple. This is a woman of Virgo, the virgin. Jesus is the sun, the light of the world, the risen savior, the son of God. He's placed in a triangle to symbolize the sun's rays. 1 hand up for the daytime, 1 hand down for the taking away of the sun at nighttime. Libra is when the sun is balanced between summer and the winter. That's why Libra is the balanced scales, and the symbol is a half rising sun. That's why he's holding holding his arms out balanced. Next sign is Scorpio, with this man pointing upwards. Scorpio is our reproductive sexual organs. He's pointing up because you must raise your sexual energy up to Aries. That's why Aries is an anagram for arise. They're in 4 groups of 3 because there are 3 months in each season. Luke, Mark, John, and Matthew. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Jesus is the sun, which is our soul. Spring is our physical body. Summer is our spirit. Fall is our emotions. Winter. Why is it the Vatican shows so many snake symbols? Even the Pope uses this. Even Alfa Romeo uses this symbol. This is why Eve gets tempted by a snake. Snakes represent sexual energy. This energy cultivates and transforms your child body into an adult, and it can transform you into a god. In order for creation, there must be destruction. Every time you release, you're giving your life force to create another life. You give a part of your soul to create another life. Your sexual energy is the power of creation. You can save it, cultivate it, and activate your kundalini, which will then activate dormant brain cells, allowing your brain to process information with more efficiency and faster. Or you can save it and redirect it into other aspects of your life. Critical thinking, manifestation, and chasing your goals. Sexual emotions are the most powerful emotions you could possibly feel, but don't let the snake eat you, because this is what stops you from reaching high states of consciousness and stops you from reaching your highest potential and creating abundance in your life. This is symbolic of giving in to our sexual urges, which make us fall from the Garden of Eden, our highest potential of human consciousness. Don't fall for the illusion of the material pleasures. We need to stop misusing the power of creation. My students are learning sexual alchemy in my university. Freemasons worship a secret god, and this is the name of him. I'm going to decode this symbolism so you can understand it. This represents God's consciousness, and it streams down to 4 sections for the 4 bodies of God: a lion, a bull, a man, and an eagle. These are the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac: Taurus the bull, Leo the lion, Scorpio the eagle, Aquarius the man. You see this in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The man, the eagle, the lion, and the bull surrounding Jesus. The 4 fixed signs represent the 4 bodies of consciousness. Aquarius is an air symbol, which is the mind. Taurus is an earth sign, which is the body. Leo is a fire sign, which is the spirit. Scorpio is a water sign, which is the emotion. This is God's consciousness streaming down to Yahweh. Yahweh, the name of God, means I am. God's consciousness goes to I am. I am goes into the 4 bodies of your consciousness: the body, the mind, the spirit, and emotion. Every single one of us are an extension of the divine presence of the universe. Jesus actually represents you, a manifestation of God's consciousness. Stop worshipping Jesus and embody his qualities into your life so you can live like God. The church has just muddled this up and created a religion so you give away your power. The secret god of the Freemasons is the self. This is why they all focus on self-mastery to achieving high states of consciousness. Red fruit is for energy and vitality. Purple and blue fruit is for relaxation because it's high in antioxidants. Green fruit is for the digestive system and detoxification. Orange and yellow is for the brain. Whatever feeling you have is your internal guidance system. And if you know the colors of food, you can use this for your advantage. Your pits is not meant to smell. Your breath is not meant to smell. You're not meant to have runny noses. You're not meant to have smelly farts or smelly poos. This is all unnatural food seeping through your skin. We all have a natural odor for our bodies. However, we should not be smelling, and it should not smell horrible. If you have any of these signs, you need to go on a fruit-only cleanse for at least a month and start to fast and remove all of this toxic waste within the body. If you are not removing waste from the body, it means it's accumulating within the body, and accumulated waste can turn into diseases. If you are eating 3 times a day, you should be going to the toilet 3 times a day. If not, it is accumulating and building waste within the body. Turmeric was made to hide the truth about ginger. Ginger is the original turmeric. Turmeric is a GMO. Human body is nature. GMOs like turmeric is not nature, therefore your body will not recognize it. Body only recognizes food that is produced by the earth. Every time you eat something unnatural, it causes inflammation within the body, which then weakens the organs over time. Food is specifically designed to look like the body parts it's beneficial for. This is for the stomach. Raspberries is for the blood, this is why it's red. Blueberries is for the eyes, ears is for mushrooms, tomatoes for the heart, grapes is for the lungs, and walnuts for the brain. Your body does not recognize any of these foods because they are GMO, they're not good for you. Did you know cans are laced with a BPA plastic lining? Fragrance can be up to 10,000 toxic synthetic chemicals. Plastic chopping boards put plastic in your food. And non-stick pans are coated with Teflon, which is a lifelong chemical. Toilet paper uses chlorine to bleach the paper. You could eat the most healthiest diet in the world, but if you think and feel negative, this destroys your health. The body follows the mind. The mind is the root cause of all reality. You can think your way into illness. See no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. Protect your mind at all costs because your life is an externalization of your mind. I've had many questions about Shilajit. I personally do not take it. If you want to learn more about health and wonder what this book is called, it's called The Human Health Guide. You can get the PDF in my bio. Jesus never existed. Jesus represents the sun with his 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus. These are the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac, which are the fourfold nature of a human being. Aquarius is air, which is your mind, your mental body. Scorpio is water, which is your emotional body. Taurus is earth, which is your physical body. Leo is fire, which is your spiritual body. Matthew is Aquarius, which is air, the mental body of consciousness. Matthew portrays Jesus as intellectual and communicative, which is the nature of air, your mental body. Mark is the lion, which is Leo, the fire. Gospel of Mark shows Jesus with passion and divine leadership and power. Mark depicts Jesus as the Son of God, which is spirituality and inspiration. Luke is Taurus, which is the earth element, the physical body. Luke portrays Jesus as the man, service and compassion. Luke emphasizes Jesus' concern for physical and material needs of others. Gospel of John is Scorpio, which is water, the emotional aspect of our consciousness. John shows Jesus doing miracles and shows Jesus as intuitive and transformative. These 4 Gospels represent the 4 aspects of human consciousness. Jesus is the sun, which represents your soul. 12 disciples around the one. 12 zodiacs around the sun. These are energies of your consciousness. As within, so without. Everything outside of you is inside of you. The truth is always hidden in plain sight. Who remembers playing Hopscotch as a child? You're probably wondering what this tree represents. It's the descent of manifestation. All creation begins as an emanation from the mind, thought. From subtle, thought unfolds into spirit and then descends into matter. You are not the body, you are the divine mind. Your whole life you've been bringing thought into physical reality, Malkuth. You come from heaven, which is the higher realms of consciousness, and you descended into physical reality. Luke 10:18, I watched Satan fall from heaven like a flash of lightning. Here's heaven, here's the flash of lightning. It's the manifestation of mind into matter. You represent Satan, a fallen state of consciousness, because matter is the lowest state of consciousness. 10 spheres, 22 different pathways, and 1 dath, which adds up to 33. Jesus is the body, the Christ is the divine mind within you, and you manifested through this 33 segments of this tree into Malkuth. You died on the cross, which is your body, and got the 5 wounds, the 5 senses of the physical universe, Malkuth. You came from spirit to matter. Now you got to go from matter to spirit through spiritual awakening, mental transmutation, and love. Christians knew about it, and it's even on your hands. Hopscotch is a game which represents the path back to source, back to God. Book of Wisdom Volume 2 is nearly ready, people. They've lied to you about geometry. Every frequency has its own geometric pattern. Physical matter is just low vibrating energy at a specific frequency. Everything is vibration, vibrating on a specific frequency, which creates a different geometric pattern. Everything contains geometry. They tell you this is God's mathematical codes behind this reality. The true geometry is within you, and I'm going to explain it in a minute. Firstly, you need to understand the brain is an energy decelerator. Nothing around you is physical, it's energy, and your brain condenses it into a reality that you can interact with. Light enters the eyes, it turns into electricity and goes to the optic nerve to the visual cortex, and it creates an image in the brain. Therefore, you are not in the world is within your brain and body. You're experiencing a simulation by your nervous system. Therefore, geometry is actually your brain's mathematical codes on turning energy into matter. These geometric patterns is basically your brain's way of decoding energy. Everything they teach you is external to keep you looking outside yourself, but it's all internal. You are God in human form. The problem with the world is that we lack understanding of who we are, and what we are doing in this physical reality. Religion is just a way to externalize the God inside of you into someone else that you can worship to give away your power. Jesus and Satan are aspects of your consciousness, the higher mind and the lower mind. They just made a character out of it. Sugar in your teeth is called a cavity. Sugar in a baby's brain is called ADHD. Sugar in an adult's brain is called dementia. Sugar in your skin is called acne. Sugar in your body is called cancer. Sugar in your blood is called diabetes. Sugar in your eyes is called glaucoma. Seed oils in your skin is called sunburn. Smelly breath is rotting food in your gut. Sugar and alcohol kills good gut bacteria. Music is me and you sick, because frequency is the only few forces that can penetrate your consciousness and body without your consent. Alcohol means body-eating spirit, alcohol. That's why a djinn is called a jinn, a spirit. Alcohol is a magic potion that contains spirit. Every time you cut yourself, your body heals with a scab. Your body's a self-healing technological machine. Just like how your body makes a scab, your body knows how to heal anything wrong with it. You just have to give the body the right environment for it to heal. Remove meat, dairy and all unnatural foods and consume alkaline foods. Start to fast. After 2 days of fasting, your body starts to produce stem cells to regenerate the body. If you have any of these problems, then you need to detox. Your body is the most advanced piece of technology on the face of the earth. There is not one thing that can replicate the complexity of your body, so look after it. Israel is not the Holy Land. The Holy Land is within you. Isis, Ra and El. Isis, the feminine right brain. Ra, the masculine left brain. El comes from Elohim, which means God. When the two hemispheres of your brain come together and work as one electrical system, you're left with pure consciousness, which can lead to out-of-body experiences. Even the Bible tells you to astral project, rather be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. Corinthians 5:8. The Bible says, I know a man in Christ who was caught up in the third heaven. Physical, etheric, astral. This is astral projection. Whether in the body or out of the body, I do not know. Corinthians 12:2. This is why the Sumerian gods had two faces, and the 33rd degree symbol has two eagle faces, because it symbolizes having mastery over the physical and the astral body. You can quite literally live while people sleep. Leaving your physical body puts you in the fourth dimension, the astral plane, which is the screen you have in your mind that allows you to imagine a red apple. As a child, you could imagine very vividly because you came from the fourth dimension. As you grew older, you lost this ability to imagine. Your consciousness is pure light, and through the intent and focus of your mind, you can focus this light into a form, which is what we call imagination, the fourth dimension. That's why I put together a free guide which gives you practical methods to enhance your inner vision. Anyone can get this, it's for free, and it's basically a teaching from Ethereal University. Why is it the ancient gods all carry this bag alongside with a pine cone? Even the Pope carries a pine cone. Vatican has the pine cone with the dome. Bags are the carrier of things and they can be passed on, and it's always carried in their left hand. In the Kabbalah, the right represents wisdom, the left represents knowledge. This represents the carrier of secret knowledge, of how to activate the pine cone. The left is the knowledge, the right is the applied knowledge, wisdom. Pine cones can be open or they can be closed. Pine is pin, which is the pineal gland, a spiritual gland in the brain which acts as an antenna for our consciousness. You have a physical body and a spiritual body, but most humans are stuck in their physical form. This bag is the secret knowledge of how to activate our spiritual body by activating our pineal gland, going from asleep to awakened, from darkness to the light, from hell to heaven. Pineal gland is not the third eye. Pineal gland is an antenna, a receiver of consciousness. The mind is the third eye. I have a free guide of activating the inner eye on my website. This guide contains teachings from my university. I'm looking for serious students who are interested in occult and esoteric teachings to join my community. Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself. Matthew 21:12, Jesus went into the temple of God. Corinthians 3:16, do you not know that you are the temple of God? Jesus entered within himself to go to God, which is why he tells you to meditate in Luke 6:6. When thou prayest, enter in thine inner chamber, and having shut thy door, the inner chamber, the inner self. Shutting the door is taking no thought. which is exactly what Jesus says, therefore take no thought in Matthew 6:34. He says this 5 times because you have 5 senses. You must turn off the 5 senses and take no thought. When you turn off activity, thought and emotion, you connect with pure consciousness, which allows you to meet the Lord in the air, Theologians 4:17. Earth is the body, water is emotion, fire is spirit, air is the mind. Raise yourself up to the air, enter in the mind. All your life you've been thinking. When you stop thinking, you open up other aspects of your consciousness. The church does not want you to know this, to keep your soul trapped in the physical plane. You need to go from hell to heaven, heel to head, matter to spirit. Join the university if you want to become enlightened. We have a library, manifestation course, Q&As and lectures every week. The planets are not spinning balls in space. They are lights in the firmament. They give you the 7 chakras, the 7 days of the week, the 7 days of creation, and the 7 metals. Gold is a physical crystallization of the sun. That's why banks are backed by gold, because the sun is the soul of the solar system. It gives life to all things. Silver is a physical manifestation of the moon's energy. Mercury gives you mercury, Saturn gives you lead. Low vibrating light turns into matter, high vibrating matter turns back into light. Everything's made out of light. That's why the ancients were decked out in jewelry. By wearing the metal, you can harness the energy of each planet. The planets are different aspects of consciousness. They are energies, emotional states, and levels of awareness that manifest all conditions in the external and internal world. These are the Elohim. Read this book if you want to know more. My YouTube might help you understand this. You do not see into reality. The eyes are black holes. They suck in the light in the images produced at the back of the brain called the visual cortex. This is because the universe is a mental projection, and it's the #1 law in the Kabbalion that all is mind, the universe is mental. You never actually feel the external world. When you touch something, this is your brain's interpretation of electrical signals on your nervous system. You touch, taste, smell, hear, and see with your brain. You're not in the world. The world is being simulated from the brain and the body. It's a piece of technology. Your body is the earth. The sun is your soul. The moon represents your mind. Your body is an advanced VR headset which produces a simulation. You are the universal mind, the observer behind your thoughts, emotions, and senses. There is only one of us in the universe, and that is God. The one consciousness is what gives life to every single living life form. There is only one consciousness, there is only one God, and there is only one number, which is the number 1, which is the letter I. The I am within you is the universal consciousness, which is God. Government, they govern your ment, your mind. Your environment is a product of your mind, and the elements exist in your mind, and they advertise to your ment, your mind. There is not one thing you can't think of. Every possibility exists in the mind. The mind is an infinite metaphysical consciousness. Your brain is a supercomputer. They're not the same thing. The Book of Wisdom explains everything. If you smoke tobacco, you're addicted to the spirit of tobacco. That spirit has control over your consciousness. Smoking is witchcraft. Every plant has a spirit, a consciousness. Burning the plant releases the essence, the spirit of that plant. Inhaling the smoke is inhaling the spirit of that plant, which is infusing that consciousness with yours and making you become high. Witchcraft is not evil. It can be used for good and bad. Smoking the devil's lettuce can be used for good and bad. You invoke the spirit of the plant. If you smoke lettuce with a bad mindset, you're invoking anxiety spirit. If you smoke with a positive, high vibrational mindset, you open your consciousness. You are the magician. You are the invoker of the spirit. Smoking plants with no self-control will invoke the spirit to control you. If you're going to smoke lettuce, use it to meditate and access deep meditation, or use it in ritual to reprogram your subconscious. Whatever you do, never smoke on a full moon, and stop using it to escape reality. Use it to open up your consciousness or to reflect on your life and access deep thought. Doing it every day will just make you lazy and you'll get nowhere in life. The link is in my bio for the free Telegram for free content. You get charged in a court because you're a battery, and then go to a prison cell, which is a battery cell where it holds your energy. They are harvesting your energy in prison. If you astral project and go to a prison, you'll see this for yourself. Energy cannot escape cubes. Everything today is built in cubes to trap energy. The ancients knew this. This is why their rooms were never square. They had pointed roofs for energy to escape. Everything you see molds your mind in some form or way. Cubes and squares are the most limited shapes. By seeing cubes and squares all the time, this is subconsciously limiting our minds. The ancients built with beauty and sophistication because they understood what they see has an effect on their mind. They changed this to dull us down, to make things more simple, to make you more simple. Environment, it's all mental, it all has an effect on your mind. I think you can work this one out yourself. Minds are expanding and people are progressing inside of the ethereal university. Do not stay in the shadow of ignorance. Progress your life with knowledge, people. Parents are a pair who rents. Because you don't own your child, you sign them away using a signature. You signed your nature with a sigil. A sigil is a symbol used in witchcraft. Oh my God! You are born into this world, and the word born comes from barren, which means lifeless, dull, and boring. Then you are controlled by the government, the governmentality. They control your mind. Everything physical began as a thought in the thinking mind. The mind is the root cause of reality, so they control your mind, not your body. They do this by broadcasting spells to north, east, west, and south, the news. My God! Wow! Then they teach you the vowels in this specific order, A, E, I, O, U, to teach you that you owe them to become a slave. You are weak in the weekdays because you are working. Where you were a king, you are no longer a king if you are working. Then on the weekend, you are weakened from the weekdays. Days is a daze where you are in a state of confusion. The television is used to tell a vision, to program you on the programs. They want you to think slaughter is laughter, hello is hell is low. Words are swords because they mold your mind. They also create three-dimensional sound waves which impacts the fabric of matter. I believe that we were never meant to use words. Language has been manipulated so that we no longer use telepathy because we are all connected on the mental plane. We still have telepathic powers which we call intuition. If you're using AirPods, your brain is being attacked by electromagnetic radiation. Your hair is an antenna for the nervous system which picks up frequencies and energy. Radiation from these Bluetooth devices are destroying your nervous system. It's also destroying the energy field around your body. Every cell in your body has an electromagnetic field. All of these cells come together and form the overall electromagnetic field. Radiation from these devices are causing inflammation in cells, which then causes your field to become weaker, which then causes your body to become ill. It is said that the strength of the field is directly correlated to the health of the body. Some studies show that illness shows up in this field before it manifests in the body. Therefore, illness may not be something that we catch. It's the result of us lowering our frequency to match the frequency of illness. That's why in this book, there is a frequency for every single illness that exists. By listening to the frequency, we're healing our field, which will then heal our physical body. So to save your health and your energy field and your nervous system, use Wired as much as possible. If you want more in-depth content about personal things and how to progress in life, join the exclusive. Or join the other 22,000 people in my Telegram. Your body is a temple. These Egyptian temples were not for worship. These temples were 3D schools, which communicated to the student through a sophisticated language of symbols, volumes, and proportions, revealing ancient wisdom. They started their journey in the entrance, which represents the heels, because the temples were built in the human form, because they understood that God is within man, implying that man embodies the universe. The same principles that govern man are also the same governing the universe. It was a school teaching mental and spiritual ascension, to go from matter to spirit, from heel hell to head heaven. That's why the entrance is at the heels, representing the physical plane, the physical self, the lower carnal mind. The body wants the physical pleasures. Then raising up through the symbolism in these rooms up to the head heaven, which is the spiritual place. It is the spinal column that is the stairway to heaven. The Bible even talks about this, but you're just not reading it correctly. The word Yahweh means I am. Jesus in French is I am. Jesus in Latin is you are us. Be still and know that I am God. It's the I am within you is God. I am the light of the world. You project your own reality. You are the universe experiencing itself. You are a fractal of the consciousness of the universe, which is God. Satan represents your lower carnal mind that wants the fleshly desire. Book of Wisdom Volume 2 is nearly